Test. Oh, there we go. That's better. Cool. So yeah, for those joining on the YouTube, we're here doing another virtual production shared project session. We do these every week in the Discord in the Offworld Live virtual production voice channel. So good place to join in is over there. But then yeah, also obviously streaming on the YouTube every week. Every week we're just showing off new things that we're adding to this open source shared project that's just aimed at sort of getting you going in sort of virtual production spaces, using the Offworld Live tools and the compositing tools, but also just making a load of other cool functionality around it. So you know, if you wanted to work in your own camera tracking and things like that, you could use useful things that are in here as well. This week I've just been looking at making a bit of a podcast setup and kind of refining it a bit. Thought it'd be cool if it looked a bit more loungy, looked a bit more like a podcast. So I'm working on the visuals of that for now, kind of the environment and things, and that's just been from piecing together a load of marketplace assets I've been downloading over time. So it's kind of a combination of this kind of ArcViz interior pack and also this kind of what was it called, kind of technology pack, I think it was, high tech pack. So just been combining those things to just make a bit of a podcast setting, and then kind of just stepping into looking at the kind of functionality for it as well, namely just like camera changes, kind of animation presets and things like that. And it can get quite tricky working with a lot of different animations and things, especially when they layer over each other. So I was just going to be looking at making sure that's all set up nicely. At the moment I've just got like an intro camera, got some physics on these objects which is going to be cool down the line. That's why that mic stand fell over. Then we got this camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and the idea is that you're going to have 3 real world cameras in like the exact same position, and that's why I've got no movement on them at the moment, because you're likely to just have static untracked cameras for this kind of setup. Other ideas for shots here as well. And then I was going to see if I could get away with one slow zoom out like this. Once we start getting talent in here, I could see what a slow zoom out might look like. My feeling is you might get some, if you've got untracked footage, it might start looking a bit weird, but something simple like that could kind of work. And then the next things I was just kind of looking at working into this was some fun kind of preset things. So I've got presets here. First off, we got this, which kind of opens up this back room. And we go to here. This should come down as well. It might be because I've got something else running. So this sequence is the first one I want to trigger. It opens out this kind of back room, which is kind of nice. Gives off this 3D sense, and then also more kind of extreme fun one. Is the one? Yeah, so this one I'll try on simulate. And yeah, all the objects kind of falling down, exposing this big kind of space underneath, which you could do whatever with, you know. I just thought the it's really easy to just click on objects and just go physics, simulate physics, and then you know you can have loads of fun with that. Cause loads of chaos, you know, part of the fun of working in a real-time environment. Loads of fun to be had with that sort of sequencing stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment for the podcast stuff. Be cool to dive into some kind of Q&A and stuff if anyone's got any stuff they want to talk about. I know Grander Funk had you had some stuff you wanted to chat about, and yeah.
I'm unmuted.
Hey, yeah, got you now.
So, yeah, basically, in my, I'm doing virtual production, and I'm really doing, so one of the basic things that I don't really understand is the play mode.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm sure it's very, very basic, but at the same time, certain things happen when you hit play that I don't need because I'm not really doing that. And so anyway, the gist is that, for instance, I have a track camera, and when I hit play, I need to hit play for certain things to work, right?
Mm.
But when I hit play, my tracking stops and my media feed stops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
And so I'm not sure how to make that not happen
yeah.
or how to make the things that I need to hit play to
Happen
enable
before play.
happen in editor so that I can actually, do the thing I'm trying to do. So for
Mm.
example, one of the things that Unreal does wrong is time code. So we found that if I have time code coming from the camera through the SDI into Unreal, and I've checked sync with engine, what should happen is that if I then use take recorder and I record the movement of the camera, so that I can later take my camera footage, key it out in like DaVinci or something like that, and then from movie render queue, I'll export from that take the same scene and composite them together in post, so I get higher quality. So I'm getting the same thing, right, as I would get with live, just at
Yeah.
higher rendered quality. But the time code, when I try to put them together in post, is always a few frames off, which isn't a huge deal, but it's not consistently always the exact same. It's sometimes one or two or three, and we can move it back and forth, but without a reference, it's like kind of a pain, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so we're trying to synchronize that. So the idea I have is to have a time, like a digital time code clock showing in the scene, and then to use the comp output, which goes to a hyperdeck that I have, so it records the full live comp. So I'll see that in the scene, and then I can also slate at the same time. So that way I have a real world thing and a digital thing that I can use for synchronization, right? The problem is that when I hit play, again, the tracking in the media stops, so I don't have what I need. And but if I don't hit play, I can't get the time code, the digital time code clock to record. I mean to play. It just says the word text instead of actually having the time code. Yes. Can I show you the
Yeah.
screen here? Hold on. All right. Are you seeing that okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, here I am, and here's my track camera, and here is me, physically moving it up and down in my, it's on a jib, right?
Mm.
So that's what I want. And then if I look at the comp here, uh, I have this. So this is just my green screen. There's a bunch of crap on the green screen at the moment, but ignore that.
Mm. Sure.
But this is, live on my stage.
Cool. Cool.
And but if I hit play, I get that. I get no output, but the time code clock works. And
Mm.
that is the time code coming from the camera.
Um.
So it's pretty much that simple. I don't know what to do. I mean, I guess I can come into this, where did I put it? Get rid of this stuff. Here's the blueprint for the clock,
Mm.
but it's not coming from event begin play. The problem, I mean, my other problem is I don't really know blueprints well at all because, again, it seems like more of a game thing, although I do obviously need it for many other things. I
Mm.
just
Yeah.
haven't gotten there yet. So,
Yeah. So you can do like implementing an editor tick into this, so it would tick in editor as well, which is like a little bit complicated. So maybe the easier thing would be to try and get your stuff to run on begin play. It looks like um, so your problem with begin play and it just stopping. Are you able to do a player viewport compositing output out of your composure output?
Sorry, say again.
So yeah, in that comp on the outputs, can you do a player viewport output?
Like a second one?
Yeah, you can run it out to two
'Cause
places.
right now my output's going over SDI.
Okay, but you were saying you wanted it to not say that suspended thing on begin play, right? You wanted to
Well,
still see
true,
the.
but it's also not coming out of here.
Oh,
So in
that's
other words,
very
this
weird.
goes to my SDI output and that stops working as well. Plus the tracking stops working. So pretty much everything stops working that I actually need.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Strange. Can you try pressing play again? Um,
Yeah, I'm in simulate instead of play.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
The
that's
reason
that's
is
something I haven't.
because
Mm,
the reason it's like this is just because at some point in the past, the default I think is this, and at
mm.
some point in the past it worked when I chose simulate, but in this project it doesn't. So
Okay.
this is something I don't really understand, this whole play thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
But
simulate. I haven't meddled around much with using simulate with composure. That's interesting. Um, so
but I mean it doesn't work here either.
yeah. So on play, you're getting no media output basically.
Correct.
Yeah. Can you click on your
And no
composure
camera
elements
tracking.
while it's playing? Can you? Does it let you preview them while it's playing? If you like,
Um,
or it does. It does just suspend all of them, doesn't it?
yeah, pretty much nothing happens when I hit play.
Yeah, yeah. And your time code isn't running either this time.
Um, no, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay. Just not in the
Yeah,
viewport.
see,
Oh yeah. Okay.
it's
Yeah, it
just
is.
a little slow or whatever, but it is
Yeah.
working.
Okay. Okay.
There's these handles are, yeah, I guess they are. I'm just looking and the waves are working. So
Hmm.
yeah, everything works except, the actual stuff I need, which is the,
Extra output. Yeah. Could you try just doing a player viewport compositing output instead of that one for now? Just like either disabling that one or just making another one, just so you don't have to set that one up again.
yeah, it doesn't take but a moment to output to reset, but a
Sure.
player viewport compositing output.
Yeah. Maybe just try giving that a play and seeing what changes. You should see your actual scene this time. Maybe not in simulate mode, maybe just play mode.
Is that
Yeah,
this
selected.
one
Yeah, that's right.
or standalone game? I literally
Selected viewport. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's yeah, I'm moving the physical camera up and down, nothing's happening. I get no tracking, I get no output.
Yeah,
Uh,
you should be getting your whole scene over the top of your screen as well by pressing that. Um, can you
uh,
stop it and like check out that output again? Player viewport output enabled. Could you try disabling the other output? Maybe they're like conflicting, I guess. See, that's what you should see on screen, but it should be the right colors. Yeah.
well, the right colors might be just because it's using this tone map instead of an OCIO.
It seems to look different in that preview to what it does in the actual output in the end when I've used player
I'm just
compositing.
saying because it has this tone map
Yeah, yeah.
might be the reason it looks different. Like if I got rid of this and I used OCIO instead, it might look okay. So I'm not as worried about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Could you try disabling the other output? Did you untick that one?
yep,
The
hold on.
Yeah, try unticking that enabled. And now press play again. You're getting nothing going over your viewport, which is really strange. Um,
Well, if you don't know, it's cool. I mean, I don't want to waste everybody's time in trying to troubleshoot that we have no idea. you know?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I am kind of just shooting random things at it, but you know, we've got time. There's not much going on in this stream really, so you know, it's
Okay. Well, I
I'm
mean,
happy
I'm fine
to,
to do it. I just don't want
yeah.
to.
No, I mean, unless anyone else has got any things to discuss, I'll just double check the YouTube. But yeah, honestly, quite a quiet one today, so it's no stress.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
like I say, I just don't know enough about what this does in regards to doing virtual production the way I'm doing it with Composure.
yeah. It's really weird that you're not getting any outputs on Begin Play. Because
I mean, could
even
it?
if something was not triggering, like your media wasn't loading or something, you would get like
The only thing
Hmm,
I was just going to say, the only thing I have in here is this is the blueprint that came with the DLSS. So
okay.
that's why I'm getting
Oh, it's
this
just
overlay here.
yeah, that's all right.
But I was just checking the level blueprint in case there was something that, I don't know,
Yeah.
gave us a hint.
And then what's the second parts of those after the add to viewport? Is that player controller? Is it giving you the mouse? Basically saying you can use the mouse. Those next two nodes, isn't it? After add to viewport. Input. Is that what that says? Set input mouse. Oh yeah, set input mode. Okay, that should be fine. Maybe worth trying to unplug. Like maybe just try unplugging that whole thing, see if it changes anything. I mean, obviously you probably want the DLSS overlay, but it will get us a little further to test that. Maybe like, yeah, try playing that. No, you're still not getting the composure output. Okay, next thing that I would try is try a render target output as the output path instead. You can hook up the DLSS again if you want to.
So I don't forget later.
Yeah, just don't want to break your project.
Well, I just wouldn't have that. I mean, I don't know. In this project, it seems to be running pretty well. This is still DLSS 3. I think 3.5 has actually come out, so
Fair enough.
I
Yeah.
do want to try that, get that installed soon.
So you can do render target
render,
output. Be worth testing.
and what are we targeting?
Just make any new render target, and I just want to like open it up and just see if Composure outputs to that. Just
put it to the base there.
You're seeing it there. That's just because the resolution is set at size X and Y, so you can change that to
Right.
Yeah. So maybe try pressing play and see what happens on this render target after you press play. Nothing. Is that totally still as well? You're not getting the time code.
Maybe I see something here. Yeah, I'm not getting the time code, and I'm putting my hand in front of the camera and moving the camera, and nothing's changing.
Not updating. That's really strange. I'm really not sure why your composure would not update on begin play. Yeah.
And there it is working, but this time, yeah, well, anyway. So this is my, dilemma, because if I could at least make this work in editor, then I can at least, move along, but.
So the other route to making that run in editor, it's it's a couple of kind of complex blueprints, but you could definitely do it. I mean, you could even fire that timecode blueprint my way, and then I could hook up the in editor version because I've got it all in a project anyway.
Okay.
And then I could fire that back to you. To be fair.
Okay.
Could be useful to have in the project anyway. Is it a paid plugin, or have you just found it? Like, has it just come through?
It was. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. It was. I thought it was originally in the what do you call it? The free or the default.
Like VP stuff.
What's the word? Yeah, the stuff in there, but I don't know where it came from.
All right.
Some project that we had.
Yeah,
That's
this
all I
is
can
this is
say.
the thing I've been finding as well with like having an open source project. It's like it's all too easy to just move stuff from project to project. It's like how does the licensing break down like that? You know, it becomes quite
Yeah,
diffuse.
I don't know. I mean, this is
Mm,
a fairly simple,
yeah, yeah, yeah. True. It's not
it's five
massive
modes.
intellectual property there, is it? Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Baron. By the way, nice to see you in here. I was gonna say
Yeah,
hello.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what you're talking about. I might have the answer. Are you talking about the overlay, the DLSS overlay thing?
So we're
No, no,
talking.
no, no.
The composure is not outputting anything on begin play. This composure comp. So this is what we're talking about. For some reason, getting no output on begin play. So instead, we've just because you want to get time code, don't you? So instead, we could look at making that time code run not on begin play. So I was thinking of making in editor tick to make that run. But very like I would say usually more often than not you should get composure comps to run in editor. Sorry, just on begin play, just out the box. So I'll show you for this project. It must be some project setting you've got or something. I'll probably get a crash on moving this over, but yeah. Okay, so here. So I've got my comp here. Yeah. And this is currently. It's got a render target output, but it's also got player viewport compositing output. And then playing the viewport, I should see the comp. Really, that's how I usually do it. And then also, if you preview the render target here, you should see it in the render target on begin play. So I don't know if it's worth like making the comp again from scratch. I don't know how long that is. Trying it in another level or something, but for me,
There's a project setting that won't necessarily help.
yeah, it's true. So yeah, I don't know if what we can look at here that I might have different to what you've got. There's just I don't really know what could possibly trigger or not trigger on begin play other than like having this checked. I only thought really weird.
Right. Again, that's kind of part of my problem. I really don't understand what play accomplishes for me in the context of doing virtual production.
Yeah, because you can take takes and stuff. Just in editor, right? So it's
Yeah, I use take recorder. I use the camera tracking take recorder. So for me, play is just an irrelevancy,
yeah.
except to trigger certain things that,
Yeah, except to run blueprints, pretty much.
yeah.
Trigger events.
But what we want to do is write well, you were doing this the other day, the other week, but what do you call it? The web remote control interface?
Yeah. Triggering sequences from that.
Did you ever figure out how to trigger a blueprint from that?
Yes, yeah, I did.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if it's in this version of the project, but with the whole triggering sequences, I had to do it on tick in the end. So I just had so it's kind of not. I don't know if it was the most ideal way to do it, but I did manage to trigger sequences. I think the only thing with it is that if you wanted to do more than one thing, it's all coming from that tick. So if you started doing more complex stuff, then it would be quite tricky. But just triggering an array of sequences, like triggering a selection of sequences, you can do it for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's in some
Yeah,
version
because
somewhere.
I could see, like having a thing that's based on what the actor is doing, which has no specific time, right? Because you say, okay, ready, and lights are on, and we're rolling, and blah, blah, blah. Actor's doing something, you get to a certain point, and then you want to trigger something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Randomly, as opposed to at a very specific time. So that's why we want to have arbitrary control over when a sequence starts.
Yeah. I think my feeling is that on begin play, I mean, in editor before begin play, it could be quite tricky to do more than one sequence at a time, because you can like load up one sequence, you know, and you could just trigger that, and that would move it in the actual level. But doing multiple would become more tricky.
Got it. Right.
I know you can make a sequence. You can make a sequence, and then you can put other sequences into it.
Sure.
So, you know, shots or subsequences. So, you know, maybe that could be a way that you could trigger various different things at various different times, just moving that playhead. I don't know. Could be something like that. But my feeling is you do kind of want to get into begin play if you start wanting to trigger a lot of stuff. That would be the feeling.
But a blueprint.
I believe the performance would be better as well.
Yes, yeah, very true.
Sorry, say that word again. The what would be better?
The performance.
Performance.
Mm.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you do get a bit of a performance boost running it on begin play for sure.
I'm pretty sure some parts of rendering are not like working correctly in the editor viewport actually.
Oh really? Oh, rendering
sure,
features.
Like some transparencies and reflections and like more complex stuff.
I do get some just weirdness every now and again, like just randomly opening the project, maybe like all the shadows from the hand downwards will just be blocked out, but I think it's like some cache stuff, or it's just really hard to figure out when it's going to do it and when it's not going to do it. Strange.
Well, I'm going to ask in the Unreal group on Facebook that people tend to, you know, get good responses out of anyway. And I've got another friend who teaches well, he owns the school CG Pro,
Oh, cool.
or becoming a CG Pro or something. So I'll see if I can kind of reach out to him and ask some others. Point being, if I come up with an answer, I'll share it so that
yeah,
in case anybody else cares.
yeah, that'd be really good for sure. Yeah, it's really weird. I've not seen a composure comp just not outputting like that. It's very strange. But also things to look into, as you were saying, like, you know, a lot of stuff like your media output and stuff doesn't trigger on begin play. I know with media input you do need to set, like in the level blueprint or in a blueprint that starts on begin play, you can do stuff like open media source. So I know that like with say you've got say you've got like a media bundle or something, you know,
Sure.
yeah, media player like this, you would have to get like a reference to this. Can you drag it into the level? No. Maybe you'd make like a variable for media player. Media player object reference maybe, and then set the media player that you want to play, and then I think do you do like open source, and then play. Maybe set looping or just play. So you know there are things like this that you have to sometimes check over. So for media input, it's something like this to get it to play. Maybe that needs this. So yeah, I found that if you want to get stuff running on begin play, you do have to do some stuff like that. So yeah, maybe that goes for output as well. I'm not sure.
I'm looking for this. Where did you get
that? Starting with making this variable and then dragging off of it, really.
Oh, let's see. That's again my problem. I haven't really used this enough to. Okay, so media player and all right. When you created that variable media player, how did you get the?
So dropping down here, if you search media player again, and then you go
Oh, I see.
media player object reference. Yeah, so this is kind of how you select what you're sort of looking for, and then when you click on the variable again, you should get this, and then you can select from your, from your content browser, essentially, what media
Right.
player you're after.
Okay. Get media player, and then
you want to do
open
open source. Yeah, and then you need to select the texture asset. So that's basically saying, when you double click on this, opening the source.
Source one. Oh. Well, that's actually okay. So that's the other thing. I mean, my media source is not. So I have two media sources, right? But
Yeah.
they're coming into Composure. One is the fill, and one is the matte, and then I use that thing for the ultimate.
Yeah, true. I'm not sure if yeah, I'm not sure if you'd have a slight delay if doing it like this. Then in that case, maybe what you'd want to do, you can also control these through sequences. So in a level sequence, you can go track media track, and then you can set your source here, and you also need to do the media player here. So say that one, for example. And this is good because you can use the playhead then to control where you are in the media. So, maybe you do a media track.
Media is live.
Your media's live, right? True. So it's not a media source then, is it? It's a Blackmagic media input, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh,
like
I see.
media
Open
bundle.
source meant it was like more looking for a file.
From a file, yeah.
Gotcha.
Maybe there's an equivalent for media bundle. If you go variable media bundle. Media bundle object reference. You can select that. It's what I usually do is I just make the variable for it and then just try and search the stuff that might come up. Like that you might need.
I gotcha.
Well, like
But I
start
mean, still,
input.
would I then need to recreate in here essentially what I'm doing with the ultimate to combine the fill and the matte to get a video output anyway? So, because that's
yeah.
The whole point is to just simply not turn off Composure.
Yeah. Is there?
Like it says.
Is your input necessarily broken anyway? Are you? I think like maybe maybe the input, because it is live coming in, it might actually not need that kind of initiating on begin play. It's more just this problem of Composure not outputting anything, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically, again, it just, here, let me pull it up here. It just says suspended. So why is it suspending?
So I think, yeah. The weirdest thing that like all of these output options aren't working. That's the weirdest thing. Could you try like just making a really simple comp, just doing like empty comp shot and maybe just your CG, just the CG layer, and then like setting up the transform path for that.
Let me actually just try a new project.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Just start fresh. There must be some setting somewhere that trips that up.
I lost my my entire projects drive died, my NVMe,
You said that's
and
horrible.
I was able to copy some stuff off of it at like literally kilobytes per second. So it took 2 days to copy off like, 20 gigs
Oh my god.
onto a different drive. So I've recovered a little bit.
Okay. Managed to recover some.
But
Yeah. It's always
in
just a
general,
lesson in letting go, isn't it? You're just
mm,
like, okay, I'll redo. For me, it's just when redoing stuff, I think I've got more patient with it recently, but just hate doing that. When you know you've done it before and you did it well the first time, having to redo stuff is the worst.
right. Well,
What have you
I
been
got
up
a
to,
simple
Baron?
newbie question here.
Oh, hey, yeah, okay for it.
I do a show that I've been building 2D studios, virtual studios for a while, making the switch to 3D. And I just want to start simple, but with some augmented reality stuff coming into my 2D studio.
Okay.
Where I'm stuck trying to learn, and I'm pretty good at this stuff. I'm new to Unreal though, and obviously to virtual, to Off-World Live.
Sure.
But what I want to just start with is like a object that pops out of the ground on a key press, like a producer's key press, that has either a screen or data on it. And I just want to get directions to a good tutorial on where you could do that.
Sure.
Tried to get a couple of times, and I've watched the videos and about key press and the blueprint to set that up, and I just never get anything to start. And so I was looking for maybe you had a good tutorial about that, just to get, like, say like when you're watching a sports game and a player's stats
screen
pop
to
up
pop
in
in.
the window.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I have made a tutorial that's literally doing just that, and also goes into controlling what media is on that screen as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I haven't actually uploaded these yet, but I can send you a private link to those for sure. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
And if there are any additional plugins that don't come with the WL.
No, I think it's all pretty vanilla. It's essentially just triggering level sequences. Like, you decide what you want to happen. So you want this to move down in that level sequence, and then the simplest form of it is making a level sequence that does that. So I've actually got one. I mean, I'll send you a full tutorial anyway, but might as well chat about it on here in case there's anything else that comes up. Yeah.
This is my first. Obviously, I've played games built on Unreal, but the first time looking at the underscenes of it.
Right.
After
Very
doing
good.
my virtual production for a long time now for my shows.
Cool.
I'm
Whoa.
like, this is the most amazing thing ever.
Welcome to the world of real time for sure.
Yeah. Welcome to never sleeping again.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just learn this little thing. 12 hours later.
Yeah. Things like everything takes at least 2 hours for sure. Like any small change.
And I watch your videos. I watch them on half speed on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's really funny. And then you click here.
Yeah. I'd rather that than too slow by default. I think that's the way I'd like to go.
Oh,
but
it works fine.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, what I do for sequences that I want to play and then go back to where they were, I tend to make all of the keyframes up to a certain point and then remember like a number for a frame.
Yeah.
And then it would so maybe like the end frame here, like 54. And then, so I would set the first key press, it would play up to there. And then the second key press, it would play the rest of the sequence to go back.
Yeah.
So say you've made that sequence, you can drop it into your level. This is like the simplest form of doing it. If you get into getting like multiple sequences going on, you need to go a bit more complex, but this is the simplest form of it. So then you can just go, I tend to type Q key just so I can get this keyboard event press here, and you can just press on that, change that to whatever key you want, and go for Y.
Right.
And then in the level blueprint, what's easy about the level blueprint is you can just directly reference stuff that you're clicked on. So I've got that sequence player. If you right click, you can see you get this reference right off the bat. So then off of this, you can control like how it plays. As you get into playing multiple sequences, you want to stop. You want to stop all the other level sequences in your level. But so if you find that you're playing a sequence and you've got another sequence already running in your level and it's all kind of meshing together in a kind of messy way, then you might want to look into stopping all of your other sequences. And what I would do to do that is you go get all actors of class. So it's saying get all the level sequences in the level. Level sequence actor. And then you do for each. So it's going through every level sequence that you've got in your level. And then for each of those, you can do stop sequence player. It's just making sure it's not combining loads at the same time. A little check you can do. And then to play the one that you want to play, you can just do play. I think you can do play 2, yeah. So
yeah, I think that's what I was trying. Play 2.
Yeah, play 2. And then what I tend to do is you can split this out a couple of times, and it's got this subframe, and that's the frame on the sequence that you're looking for. So 55-ish.
Yeah, that's what I hadn't got. I didn't get to play
2, yeah.
Stopping it somewhere.
Yeah, so this is what I found for it. I feel like you should be able to just do like play and then play reverse. But
yeah, that's what I was trying, but I was stuck at the getting it to run in the first place. I'd press the key, nothing happened.
Right, interesting.
Sure, it's just due to lack of knowledge here.
I mean, there's some. I'm not super sure about how this works exactly, but there's like create level sequence player as well. This is a separate thing to just playing a sequence. So you might have to create level sequence player first, select that sequence, and then do your play. It's also worth checking. Yeah. This is all up on YouTube, by the way, so you can like reference this video, this live stream as well if you want to. But I'll send you the tutorial as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just gonna start with something simple. Have one basically an animated TV comes up next to me while I'm talking.
Yeah, yeah.
Has stuff on it, either an NDI feed, or I'm interested to hear how you bring graphics and data that another operator do from somewhere else.
Yeah, totally. I've got to the point of controlling the media on your screen by also using this kind of play 2 stuff. But yeah, controlling like on the fly from another operator which media you're playing, I think is quite a key one to go into as well, for sure. So I don't know what other level sequences I've got going on, so let's see what happens, but this should do the play 2. So are you gonna stop there? If I press Y, gonna do that. Press Y again, comes back.
That's exactly what I want.
It's a little bit conflicting with other sequences in my level, but yeah, other than that, yeah, that's sort of how I've been doing. And if you kind of spam it, then you have to let it play to that point. But yeah, more or less, that's how I would do that.
All right, send me that stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no probs.
Thanks. Cheers.
No worries. Yeah, how you doing, Baron? Be cool to hear what you've been up to. If you're still around.
Yeah, I just I'm here because I haven't been home in a while, and I just returned to Quebec yesterday night.
Awesome.
Actually.
Yeah.
So I'm still jet lagged right now.
Where have you been off traveling?
I was in Winterthur near Zurich and Berlin right after.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I want to move to Berlin.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing creative stuff over there?
So what?
You doing creative stuff over there? Are you exhibiting and stuff?
Well, I met a bunch of people, which is creative, I guess. But for real, I haven't touched Unreal in over a month, and I really want to get back into it.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
after the big show, taking a bit of time off.
yeah, exactly. Which is super important to meet people and have a better understanding of what can be done in Europe, and then I think trying to move there is a good plan as well. But now I really want to get back into like creating new work, basically.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
Yeah. So my next step was going to be the residency at the SAT. I got in touch with them regarding the possibility to apply for the EPIC grant, and I guess they will. They're down to help me with that, and yeah, it could help a lot developing like more open source tools to enable Unreal for that kind of projects.
Oh, really cool. Going open
Yeah,
source
yeah,
with
yeah.
it as well. Yeah.
So, and the way I see this, like this should consider at least like the community projects that you've been working on. Like, I definitely want to connect like those tools together.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Still trying to get my head around some of the blueprints you've made. It's amazing stuff for sure. I haven't been able to jump into it too much, but
It
yeah,
takes
if we
so
could.
much time, like
Yeah.
to get into like somebody else's project, and like it takes like a day or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, for sure. I haven't given it enough time for sure. Um, yeah, it's like just learning the whole thought process behind it, as well
Yeah,
as just making it
exactly.
work. Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's been a lot of times when I've been trying other kind of camera systems, and then I'm sort of like, this is actually kind of leaning towards benefiting off of just using Baron's system. To be fair. But for stuff like this, I've just found that like people are probably going to want static cameras most of the time for like these kind of studio setups. But there's just so much other stuff that sort of stuff would be useful for. Um,
Yeah,
we're actually
like
looking at stepping into a bit more like the kind of games and live streaming out of games kind of sphere, as well as this kind of virtual production stuff. So there's we've been kind of taking a step back from stuff recently as well, and thinking more broadly about some of this stuff. So there's going to be some
mm,
interesting developments around that as well coming soon.
I'm wondering how tricky it is to get into developing plugins that makes it easier to implement that stuff in people's project rather than having to like check out a template project and build from this.
Mm.
So yeah, because the camera thing could be a plugin maybe.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah, you could have just a camera actor that you just enable for a plugin. Could be like the Baron Cam, and yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, with like a like HUD controller or something.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
did
Yeah, I guess connecting this to a game controller would make it more easy for people to get started with. Like I've been using like the 3D connection, but not everyone has that, of course.
Yeah, true. Mm.
So yeah, I guess considering the game controller could be nice.
Yeah,
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 but I like I really need some like to hire some kind of Unreal developer or something like that, because it's too much work to like handle my own projects and then develop this. Like it's
yeah.
so much all at once. But
I
yeah,
think
like if this works well with the SAT, I mean I should get some help from them.
yeah, really cool, really cool. I think also the thing to bear in mind with plugins is that Unreal just moves so fast with updates, and you never know what they're going to update that's going to break your plugin. So keeping up with that is something that I found uh, people not just here at like not just off-world stuff, because we've been quite good at keeping up with it, although the main devs do get like really annoyed over certain stuff, certain like updates that they have to fix and patch. But a couple other people making plugins have definitely been talking about that, how they've had to just leave stuff that they're really proud of, just leave it to rot in previous versions, because it's just too much
Yeah,
work to keep updating it.
that's the issue. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I've had to start over a few times because of Unreal versions, and like of course it's not, I don't think it's a waste of time, but like it's very time consuming. But they finally fixed the real-time mocap in package projects, so this thing is has been fixed with 5.3, I believe.
Oh, nice, nice.
So that's kind of forcing me to update because I
Really want
was
that, yeah.
eliminated by that issue. Yeah, I'm looking for a way to record creating in real time with mocap, and I'm not sure what's the best solution regarding this. Like I want to work in real time rather than like using the sequencer and rendering. I think real time is part of the solution for what I'm trying to accomplish. But like just recording as H.264 or H.265 as with the compression, I'm looking for better than this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure where should be heading for that, or also for a full dome as well.
Interesting. Just getting that output live. I think, 360 wise, it's really, really tricky because it's just so high res, the output you're giving,
That's right. Oh yes. I also, yeah, I think I want to work in 360 more than full dome, because then I would have the dome version and the VR headset version as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Is there a way you can remap from what is it? The orthographic view, or the the classic 360 view? Can you remap that to dome with like Touch Designer or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even worried about that. And in the past, I had like this 360 film that I ended up converting for full dome. So yeah, I'm not worried about this. But yeah, of course, it means like super high res. But DLSS helps a lot. Being able to package the project helps a lot. And maybe AI upscaling on top of the DLSS stuff, like after recording, maybe
in post. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I need a recorder that is not losing frames and has no effect on the like my computer's performance and
Yeah. And you think the off-world media output is we haven't got we just mostly do H.265 for the media output, don't we?
I was using H.265 with Touch Designer and with a super high bitrate, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's the answer. I think I want ProRes.
Yeah.
It's
Gotta be
because
done.
like I'm trying to create content, even though it's real time, I want to reuse it to make like animated works out of it that could be upscaled and like color corrected. So
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. These are all the containers we do. Matroska. But yeah, it's not Apple ProRes, is it?
Yeah, I've tried OBS and Touch Designer and the one in the OWL, but they are pretty much the same, I believe.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Is there like, can you not do take recorder for your mocap and then re-export that with movie render queue?
Yeah,
Over time.
I'm definitely like considering those, and I could even record like because I'm performing with MIDI controllers as well, so I can record that data as well. It's still a lot of work to like data wrangling work, so I used to be like super I don't have the word, but I have to spend a lot of my energy like trying to get the best output as possible, but there is like a work like tied to this, like just exporting the record, like the data, re-importing it. Also with Rococo at the moment, exported mocap data from this Rococo studio is not the same. Like when I retarget in Unreal, it's not the same as the stream data for some reason.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and I built some kind of system that lets me switch from one to the other and like even blend the real-time stream with the recorded thing, but it doesn't match. I mean, it could work, but like it means more work afterward to compensate for the fact that it doesn't match exactly as well. So I'm still considering this because with the sequencer, if I'm rendering image sequences, I would have like no compromise on quality and resolution, and I could even use path tracing. But I think real time is really priceless because it means I can record like a few hours of material and then edit it as if I did a music video shoot, pretty much.
Yeah, very true. It's a lot more, it's a lot more open to just experimenting and just keeping that experiment. You've got it all there as a video to then go back through. Can definitely see that, rather than like being like, oh, I liked that take, let's spend ages rendering that out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Real time is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to make a difference in the end result. So I guess using NDI out, or maybe just actually a record. Well, the NDI I was thinking with like a capture card on another computer, but that's the expensive path. But just like maybe a camera recorder, a camera external recorder.
Yeah. Could be.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Are you trying to record 360 or more just like HD or 4K?
Both. So lately I've been recording like 4K 60 frames per second, and like just like as a 2D. Well, not 360. But I'm going to be creating for the dome specifically, so I think I need to record 360 as well.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing I was going to suggest earlier to say I have like, for instance, here a hyperdeck, the Black Magic, and if you're going out SDI, you can record that, but that's never going to record 360. And I don't know how.
Well, it's like video is video, so if 360 is equirectangular projection, you can record it just fine.
Well, that's true. That's true. You're just not going to get the same quality as you would if you rendered out the full resolution.
Exactly, yeah, and like 4K when it comes to 360 is pretty low, so
yeah. Exactly.
Like even
on a zoom zone.
Exactly. So, I was going to say, in theory, you could use the Decklink 8K and go out quad and record full 8K, but I don't know how practical that is.
Yeah, if I give up 360, which is not a good idea because, well, it means 4K is not so bad because well, 4K you could get a bit under 4K by 4K for a full dome thing, and it would be possible to just reorganize the video to make it fit in a 4K recorder.
Right.
I need to test with like the AI upscalers that.
That's what I was just about to say. You might be able to use that actually to get back some of your resolution.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And then you've got the freedom of just recording takes, and then the bits that you could even do the cut at low res as well, couldn't you? And then you could just upscale the final cut.
Which is the other thing. You can do your MRQ output for your final, but record lower res for your whatever editing or.
Yeah. Which hyperdeck have you been using?
I just have a, I don't even know what model it is, but it's the smaller version of it. It only uses SD cards, and it was like $300 or $400 used, just because their newer version is, I don't know, it's weird. It says HD, but I think it does 4K 30. But anyway, I just picked it up to record the comp output, but I'm doing mostly a post workflow anyway. So it's more for like either preview or I'm recording both. I have two of them. So I'm recording comp and background, and then I can use that in editing and then output an EDL and then only render out at highest quality through MRQ the parts I need. But whatever. The point is, it's a relatively inexpensive one, but it does it's 6G, so it does 4K 30, which for me is adequate.
I just love that you press the button and it records. Like no hassle, no software. It just works, and there's value to that as well.
Well, the one guy I work with has already set up a blueprint, and we're going to mod it a little bit. But he actually has an external trigger that will trigger both the camera and the recorder and tape recorder simultaneously.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's
I used to.
IP.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's IP accessible, so you can just write a very quick, easy script to access it with the right IP address.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I need something like this for sure. Because well, the reason I'm using mocap is that I'm interested in being able to improvise and the imperfections and spontaneity of gestures and all of that. Uh, like it's an opportunity to be way more creative than when you adjust keyframes. So pressing record is on an external device is just part of the workflow.
Right, right. Yeah, I've got a few friends that are heavily into mocap here, and one of my buddies has been doing Dome videos for Dome for about 25 years now, so in Los Angeles here. So a lot of people are getting into the Sphere, which is like just up in Vegas, close to here. Have you seen that, I assume?
Oh yeah, the MSG sphere, amazing.
I hope I hope my dome project that I'm gonna do next year ends up being on that dome.
Yeah, get in
That's
Wouldn't
for
the
that
it.
be awesome?
goal.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my ex-wife lives up there in Vegas, so and I know a few people involved in it. So it's helpful being here in Los Angeles, like we're right beside Las Vegas, essentially.
Right, right. And like not many people are working for domes as well. So it's well, like I have two films that were presented in many domes just because people thought they complemented the short film programming in a good way because I handle things differently and my work has a lot of colors and a lot of dome projection in that style have been like black and white. Um, so yeah, like I think whoever gets into that kind of filmmaking has good opportunities to end up in the LA Dome.
Yeah. Well, I just as an aside, I in my backyard, I have a 24-foot diameter geodesic dome that I built that I'm using for, well, I'm not using to project it onto the ceiling because it's not really perfect, and I really haven't kind of thought about it, to be honest. I kind of sort of have, but I mostly built it after Burning Man one year,
Mm.
and I thought it would be fun to just kind of build it permanently. So it's round, of course, but on the one side I have a flat wall and I have an ultra short throw projector projecting onto it. So I'm using it as essentially like a mini LED volume.
Nice. And like if you're working on something, you don't like need the full dome anyway, so you got the curvature and that's a good compromise.
Well, I just have a flat wall built on, just the edge of the thing that I'm using for the projector, so I can do just regular LED volume type of virtual production, mostly for testing and stuff like that. I don't have a projector hitting the ceiling, but I should. I mean, I have the space there, and I should play around with that. The problem is that the way I built this dome, um, are you familiar with Burning Man?
Yeah.
So basically, I had a frame made out of PVC covered with a parachute. And I put it up in my backyard after Burning Man one year for a party. And I thought this would be great to have permanent. So I put in drywall and stucco, but the ceiling is very imperfect, right? So
Mm.
projecting on wouldn't look great. And that's mostly the thing. I was just kind of mentioning it because you talked about domes and uh, it's just a fun little thing. That's all.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But yeah, it would be fun to do domes, and I have thought about it. And what we're doing with virtual production, I mean, I'm doing almost all live, people or whatever in video into environments, etc. But I have friends that do a lot of mocap, and I've thought about you know, getting into that with them a little bit and into whether it's VR or 360 or Dome or something like that, since we're already working in this 3D space.
Yeah, and all of those technologies are pretty much interoperable as long as you invest some time to like connect the tools and stuff. But it's all the same medium, just different outputs.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's great to have access to all of those.
Yeah, so maybe I'll play with my Dome a little bit and make it you know, set up a projector and at least give it a try. Do you use a special projector for a Dome, or a special lens, I should say?
I
Or
haven't installed it personally, but the SAT are using 8 projectors, I believe. It's the Dome in Montreal. I don't know if you've heard of it.
no.
Let me, I can link a page, but I know they use 8. They upgraded the projectors recently. I believe there are 8 laser projectors now.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, so less bleed when you have bright colors. So basically, it's easier to use. Like the older projectors, like as soon as you had bright colors, it would just you had bleeds and you lose contrast.
Huh. Well, Ed, my buddy here that, like I said, has been doing this about 25 years. He had a Dome downtown Los Angeles here for many years, and still does a lot with other spaces and all that. But yeah, I know they do multi projectors and all that, and I'm just wondering if I could even do tests with like a single projector, you know, not for final output, just to kind of see what it looks like.
Yeah, I think it's worth trying because like if you have a short throw and like the quality might be low and it's not going to be immersive, but still it's enough to get a feel of how it works and how it feels. Like one of the thing I noticed is that having a super high frame rate makes like is super important at that scale. Otherwise, like all motion gets jittery. So
Right.
just to test that, it would be worth it.
Well, I have two projectors. I have a regular, you know, front throw or whatever it's called, projector that I wonder if I could. I mean, I could just project it at the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how wide it would be, but that's why I'm thinking. I wonder if I could swap out the lens and put in like a wide angle lens.
Oh yeah.
Let me take a look here. Uh,
Have
it's trying to
you? What
load.
sort of shoots have you done in that dome in your garden?
Me?
Yeah, very interesting.
Oh, you know, it's really just for testing at this point because
Sure.
I want to get up to speed on end display. I've done it a little bit in the past, professionally, just like worked on a stage and played it around with it a little bit. But I haven't like used it, but it does come up sometimes, of course, with stuff we're doing. So I just want a hands-on machine. So actually, I have two computers. One's running editor, one's running the display. But then I actually have the projector screen, which is about 14 foot. So a little less. What is that? A little less than 3 meters. I don't know if you guys use feet. Feet are really
Kind of
stupid,
both.
but we
Yeah.
have to use them here.
Yeah.
Um, but
We do
anyway,
feet just for humans, really.
yeah, right. I don't know. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
This country. But the point is 2.5 meters. So I have that wall for the ultra short throw, which I
Yeah.
have coming from above so that people can walk in front of it. And then I have on the side, I have a 4K TV as a second screen coming also from the environment that I can use for lighting onto the talent
Very
from the
cool.
front.
Very cool. Yeah.
And I could put a second 4K TV on the side, so essentially it works as a wild wall. And then what I want to do is rotate it 90 degrees. So the thing that, remember we did a couple of months ago with the 90-degree, I want to do that with it, but on the output. So
Yeah.
that's on the list.
Yeah.
Anyway, we haven't really shot anything there yet, just testing, but probably in the next few weeks, you know, it's one of those things where we'll shoot something on it just to show it.
Yeah. Yeah. Be awesome to see.
I'm actually, I just bought some black and some white paint, and I'm going to test what is best as a gray for the screen, because right now it's just white, so I'm not getting very dark, darks.
Mm.
So just for better contrast.
So
but
you
if
have
I
to
were
use
to
a
put
grey,
in
do you?
like,
Interesting.
say again?
You have to use a grey to get those darker darks,
Well,
do you?
some people even project onto black, so I'm
Right.
just going to see what looks best, put a series of different grays on a piece of whatever, and then see what I think looks best. There are better solutions. I could get like a full-on ambient light rejection screen,
Mm.
but at that size, it's going to cost me like a couple $1,000s just to,
The
be
screen.
able to do some
Yeah.
testing. And
Mm.
even for
How do
watching a
you
movie, say,
how do you work with the two computers? Like how does that work? Like so you say one handles the editor and the other handles end display and the output?
yeah, so basically, end display, are you familiar with that aspect of
A
Unreal?
little bit. I mean, I'm trying to use it, but I haven't been so successful.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, it's obviously it's what they use for like an LED volume, and when you're using multiple screens, well, I mean, in an LED volume, they'll have hundreds of screens, but they're run by a few video processors, and each video processor splits the video out to those those screens. But point being, you have a separate computer for each of those video processors, right? For each segment. And but you don't want to run the editor, like the controller, from the same computer as what's outputting the video, because it actually would have to run two versions of Unreal at the same time. So you theoretically could do it, but you typically don't want to. So you want to have one that just runs that, which can be a thinner computer. It doesn't have to be super strong, right? Because it's just controlling things. And then the other ones are doing the rendering, and they're putting out the higher quality. And so in theory, if I have the screen and I have the 4K TVs on the side, I could, I could use three computers, but it's enough for what I'm doing to just use, one computer with two outputs for the screen and the 4K TV. But anyway, that's kind of the gist. And then they're over, obviously, Ethernet. They're talking to each other.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
So yeah. So if you change something in your world in the editor, how easy is it to update the other computer? You just like click play pretty much?
Well, you can actually set it up so that it's doing that in real time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it updates in
Kind of the
editor
whole
as
point.
well.
You can have the editor set up so that like somebody can say, your director can say, hey, can you move the sun to the left a little bit? And somebody can go in and move the sun
Yeah.
or whatever other set elements.
Okay. And
Pretty
it's
cool.
completely real time. Wow. My issue with end display, when I learned about like the config files a bit. I do installations using multiple screens. So I figured it would be pretty much perfect. But then I could not make OSC work because I control everything over OSC. I could not figure it out. Like as soon as I tried to launch my project on multiple displays using I don't know what it's called, but like the interface that lets you handle your end display configuration, it broke the OSC connection.
Right,
Well,
over
I mean,
switchboard.
honestly, that sounds like an IP configuration issue somewhere.
Yeah, but
Like
with
well,
everything was local.
with end display,
well,
it
not that
runs.
simple.
It runs it as if it's its own standalone little game, basically, doesn't it? So it could be something like you have to think about as if you are like packaging the game. So if there's anything that OSC like where it wouldn't run in a packaged version, then it won't run in the switchboard launched version. There could be something
My
there.
OSC stuff works in the package
It
version, but
does. Okay.
now I guess it might be a port thing because if the editor and the switchboard are both trying to use the same port, then it doesn't work or something like that.
Well, maybe, but I know that and here's the thing, I mean, I'm not an expert on this, so, but I do know that when we were originally trying to figure out making the Bliss, which is our, camera tracking work over this, we needed to configure something for the for that particular like port and IP or whatever to broadcast to the other systems. So there's some kind of configuration for it. I don't know what the configuration is, but it sounds like an IP type of issue rather than, like a programming issue, if you see what I mean.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So back when I was trying to make this work, I found someone with the same issue on the Unreal forum, and like nobody replied and helped us there. So, so that's kind of how I got stuck, basically.
Which Unreal forum, like on the Unreal site, like Epic site?
Yes, the official thing, yeah.
Yeah, I never seem to get replies there, except for, maybe like 6 months later. But are you on, for instance, the Unreal Engine virtual production on Facebook? On Facebook, they have like 70,000
Oh,
members.
I think I am, but I don't use Facebook very much. But yeah, I think I did join this group. I'll check it out.
Yeah, that group is
They're
is
pretty
much
active.
better, much better at replying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. I'll check it out.
There
Or
are
maybe
people there.
I can just maybe search it.
Yeah, there's a guy named Ian Fursa who
He's
does a
good.
lot of end display, and he was kind of walking, or I was working with him on this one project where we were trying to figure this out, and we ran out of time to figure out the Bliss specifically, the tracking, that particular tracker. But he works a lot on that, and there's definitely other people. I'd give that one a try. Yeah, there's
Cool. Yeah, thank
67,700 members.
Yeah, I believe I'm on the right group. Unreal Engine Virtual Production.
Yeah,
I hope. Okay, cool, cool. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, okay. 67.5K members. Yeah, that's great.
I just put it on there just in case, posted it in the chat. But yeah, anyway, I would definitely post there.
Cool. So I have an exhibition in Paris at the moment. Let me show you. So I've been everything runs in real time using Unreal and one 4090, and I'm outputting to 16 different screens at once. And I wanted to do that with end display, but I could not figure it out.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Wow, 16 displays. What are you
yeah,
splitting it through?
1080p each, and I'm using some like it's not the best splitter, but yeah.
Nice.
The feed, if you had like text showing on those displays, like it would not look very good, but for animated content it kind of works.
Yeah, definitely. Where in Paris?
And it's an art center just north of Paris, like 10 minutes north, called the art center of Enghien-les-Bains, and
Okay.
they have like digital art exhibition like maybe 3 or 4 a year. So I've been presenting my work there. Like I have 15 artworks, but this is the most ambitious piece. And yeah, it's been here since it's been there since September until late December.
Nice. Yeah, it looks great. My ex-wife, the one that lives in Las Vegas, is from Paris. So
Oh, nice, nice.
and she's going to be here in about 3 hours. So, but I think she's going to Paris sometime soon. So maybe I'll send her by to check it out.
It really
Oh, yeah,
seems
sure.
like end display would be really great for that because you really want to line up all of those screens together, don't you? So if you could just like replicate the position of all of those screens, end display is really good for giving you that viewpoint to project all of those from.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, weird that the
It's
splitting
so,
is
yeah,
quite tricky.
and also the way the scalability of end display, like I could have like a huge computer with 2 or 3 graphic cards or like several weaker ones. I was thinking of going with weaker computers actually and just like synchronize the whole thing, and I could have like 50 displays easily, right? But like at the moment I have like one giant feed that I send to Touch Designer, and the mapping is handled there. Like it works fine, but it's not a very scalable solution.
Sure, sure.
Another thought, and we've been talking about this, but I do not know if it works, is external GPU enclosures.
Is that another way to get multiple GPUs out of Unreal, is it?
I mean, in theory, you know, you could add multiple GPUs, right, to the same computer, but using external, you don't need to throw them all into one case, which in many cases is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
you couldn't put two 4090s in the same computer very easily. You'd need a really big motherboard. Those things are ridiculously big.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, if you do water cooling, it's a bit better. But yeah, it is a challenge in itself. Like my previous rig was 23080 and was not so bad, but like it's a challenge in itself that you need to figure out basically.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying the 4090s are triple width, so to find a motherboard that even fits would be a task.
So that's exactly why I wanted to use that display. Like I think it might be making more sense to have cheaper graphics card and just use like 4 or 6 different computers, or and just have like maybe 2 or 4 displays per graphics card per computer, pretty much. But yeah, I just could not figure out the whole connection thing.
Well, like I say, try on this in this group, because I'm fairly confident you'll get an answer. It might not be the 5 minutes, but give it a day. But the other thing I'm going to say is, though, with one computer, if you have Thunderbolt, right? There are new Thunderbolt 4s, and you could string out a series of the external GPUs. Right, so you don't necessarily need 5 computers. You could have one computer with 4 external GPUs, and each of those is going to screens or something.
Yeah, nice. That's
anyway, just a thought. I do not know if it would work, but it seems like it would.
Yeah,
and you don't need, like, that wouldn't require the what is it called, the link thing, that if you have 2 NVIDIA GPUs, you have to link them together.
They don't even do this anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say you don't need that if you're just doing it for output, because you're not trying to like render across them. You're just trying to output through them with their own individual thing, right?
Okay. So yeah, I've been wondering how NDisplay makes it possible to render the same instance, like the same world, using different computers, basically. So I assumed, well, they need to synchronize somehow, and I assumed each computer was responsible for its own rendering.
Well, hit me up if you don't find an answer, and I will track somebody down who can give you an answer.
Okay, yeah, cool. But yeah, like I'm like, for now, I don't think I have time to give it a shot again. But once I do, probably next year, I'll definitely try to put together like the question on the group and all of that. Yeah, that's the issue with how I work. Like I don't have enough time to go back to research and development now that I have a solution that works with 16 displays.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Well, once I get my whole thing set up, because we're trying to set up, like I said, this, what do you call it, web remote control interface, which is not dissimilar to what you're probably doing with the OSC controller. And if we can make that work with NDisplay, then the solution should be the same, probably. So if we do get there, I'll let you know. I'll send you a message or something.
Cool. Thank you.
Sure. We'll see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad I could.
Not many
glad we
people
could.
are doing that kind of work, it seems. It's a small community.
Yeah.
Very small community.
But
small but global.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Got it. Oh, by the way, so Jasper, the thing that I was talking about the other week with the OWL plane and then rendering in post,
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is if we use stencil layers, I can output just the plane with nothing else but with alpha, and then pin the video to that in post.
Hmm.
And then whatever movement it does, whatever, shape it takes, depending on the position of it relative to the camera, I now have my source video, my recorded camera footage on that, and then I can put that on top of the rendered background output.
Yeah, yeah. As long as it's like in sync frame wise, that would line up perfectly. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Have you seen what do you call it? Stencil layers?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can just assign an
So
object to have that stencil layer. Yeah. I
yeah,
think.
so that's kind of my working plan. But apparently, and I haven't actually done this yet, but one of the guys I'm working with says this will work is to be able to output that with alpha.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
And what you could what you could live output that with alpha?
sorry, one more time.
You could output that live with alpha, you're saying?
Live. Well,
Yeah,
no,
or you movie render queuing it.
no, just from movie render queue.
Okay.
With that, I could output the position of the screen of the plane, right? The rectangle of it alone with alpha, but live, no.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I don't know, not to my knowledge. That wasn't my goal, so I haven't,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
ask her to think about that.
That's cool, that's
Because
cool.
the whole point is, how do we render out the highest quality when using the off-world live plane with
Yes.
virtual camera movement versus
Yeah.
real track camera movement?
Yeah, very true.
So
Yeah.
just updating you on my working plan for that. That's all.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm supposed to try to meet with Johan so he can give me a primer on axisymmetry.
Hey, fair enough.
That's actually my name.
Oh, really?
Oh, Johan? Well,
Yeah,
unless
funny
you're
thing.
probably a different one.
Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah,
Yeah,
nice meeting you.
you too. This is a guy up in Sweden. He's very knowledgeable about everything, like insanely so.
Yeah.
So he's yeah, really very technically savvy. All right, well, thanks. I will catch you later. I will email you that time code clock
Yes, yeah, do that. Yeah. So I should be able to
asset.
send you back
And
an editor version. Yeah.
in the background here, I was also opening a different project, and the same thing happens. It just stopped, well, the thing is, the comp on screen shows suspended, which I think is fine. For some reason, I'm not getting an output, and I need to troubleshoot it, but it might be that it outputs over SDI, even though it's suspended here,
Yeah.
as a means of, kind of saving resources.
When you press play, the stuff that you see in editor, like the previews here, will show up as suspended for sure to save resources. Yeah.
Right. But I'm not getting the output, so I still need to play with it. But
very weird.
Anyway, just another thing to try to figure out with Unreal.
Yeah, yeah. Really strange that you're getting that. I usually, if I set up just a simple comp, like one media plate, one CG element or something, and then go output via player viewport compositing output, when I press play, I will see the composure comp on the viewport. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll try that also on this new project and see if that happens.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thanks again. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, awesome to chat. See you later.
Bye.
Cheers.
Yeah, ciao.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for jumping in as well, Baron. Yeah, great to hear what you're up to.
Yeah, it's good to catch up. So yeah, hopefully I get more into Unreal very soon. Now that I'm home, and I'll keep you updated with the progress to the project and stuff.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, since you're also in the game of open sourcing stuff, it'd be awesome to cross pollinate it all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll get back to you on this, or maybe someone else at Offworld Live regarding some kind of letter that confirms that we've been in touch, pretty much. Like no obligation, but just to mention that we're trying to build a community, pretty much. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that could be
yeah.
different for the Epic grant thing.
100%. If it helps your grant, yeah, we'd definitely be up for giving a testimonial or something for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Yeah,
Cool.
really cool.
Okay.
Nice. So yeah,
Yes,
have a good
thank you.
evening. Yeah,
Thank you. Too. Goodbye.
thanks. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in as well. Be here every week. See you all next week. Thanks a lot.